Hi, my name is Tina, and welcome to the Lunar Guild, a place where you can have casual conversations about your favorite fandoms. There's no need to know everything about the subject. You just need your opinion and maybe a good cup of coffee. I watched the first episode of What If, which is about if Agent Carter became Captain America, essentially. And at first, I was not sure how I felt about it. I was just appalled by the animation, and I thought the story was really weak. But upon looking deeper and watching it again, I did come up with some more opinions that I feel like made me a little more warm to the idea of the show, but I still don't know. I really enjoyed the Marvel shows. WandaVision and Loki are my favorite. And then what's the other one? What is it, like Captain Falcon? Winter Falcon. Oh, Falcon and the Winter Soldier or something. Yeah. I didn't really care for that one. That one's pretty boring. But WandaVision will be in my heart forever. I like to start off by saying that we all know that Into the Spider-Verse is one of the best animated films that's come out in a very long time. If you do some light research on What If, you will find that Stefan Frank actually is the head animator and he worked on Into the Spider-Verse. So I feel like some of those elements that made Spider-Verse so good should have transferred to What If. And we all know that Into the Spider-Verse was a beautiful film. So why doesn't What If look like that? Those are the questions that I have. According to Wikipedia, the producers told Stefan Frank to go nuts with the budget and the animation, and I am not sure that he did that. They could not find a studio to do it in 2D. Sure, Disney. Or maybe they just didn't have a 2D studio that wanted to work with Disney because Disney's been, getting a lot of heat in the media lately. So, I don't know who to believe. The type of animation is cell shaded animation, and it is not my favorite. I honestly, if I see a show that's cell shaded, I don't watch it. I don't care how good the story is. I don't care how good the writing is. It hurts my brain to just comprehend it. I usually like straight up 2D or straight up 3D. I will admit, though, the backgrounds and the general sets of the show are really beautiful, but when you actually look at the characters and their movements, especially when they open their mouths and speak, that just makes me super uncomfy, and I will give some examples. As you can see, when they speak, it doesn't actually line up with what they're saying, and their facial expressions are super just like stiff and doesn't match the urgency or the emotion that's supposed to be conveyed, which is very different from Into the Spider-Verse. I know Into the Spider-Verse probably had a bigger budget, but I have seen shows like done on YouTube in cell shaded animation that was better than this. Also, Into the Spider-Verse, their mouths are covered a lot. So a lot of the facial expressions have to be conveyed through the mask. And in this scene where both Spider-Man are in the office trying to steal the computer, there's more emotion being conveyed through their eyes in the mask than pretty much anyone in the entire episode of What If. Watching Into the Spider-Verse, you can see the depth and the texture that's just put into every single scene. The characters, their mouths touch when they talk and say certain syllables, which is what is supposed to happen. Marvel, I'm looking at you. Cell shaded animation is very popular, and I'm sure it's a lot cheaper to make than 2D, and it takes a lot less time, but I feel like it rarely seems to be done well, and the movements always seem really unnatural to me. I know the animation is supposed to add something more to film that can't be done in real life. I think that's one reason I love animation so much. But with What If, I feel like it's not adding anything to it. It's just flat. And you're thinking, Tina, why does this matter? Because I think it matters. That's why I'm here. Okay, I've talked a lot about just the animation in general. I'd like to get into the actual story of this episode. When Captain America: The First Avenger came out, I was a huge fan. I liked the aesthetics of the movie. It was enjoying to watch. I also used to be really into Chris Evans, which I can't really talk about now because I'm in a committed relationship with someone I think is really cute and I really, really like. But before him, I was definitely into America's Ass. I know they were trying to fit a full-length movie into about a 24-minute episode, but it just felt so rushed. Also, why isn't Steve bleeding here? And why didn't he die? He was shot twice in the abdomen. I'm pretty sure that's a death sentence right there. I thought it was an interesting touch how Howard invented the Iron Man suit well before Tony did. It makes me wonder what Tony would invent in his time, or if Tony was even born in this universe. I really didn't think Peggy seemed like herself. I know this is supposed to be an alternate universe, so I'm sure some of the characters are going to act different, but she wasn't the ice cold bitch I know. She was an ice cold queen, the girl who just decks someone in the middle of boot camp and acts like it was nothing. I like that Steve wasn't intimidated by his 7-foot tall butch girlfriend. But I also think Peggy seemed a lot more silly than she was in the movie and the Agent Carter show. In other versions, she's highly stoic, and in this episode, she put her guard down a lot more, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. She's more warm and inviting to Steve. Also, I didn't really understand this part at the end where Nick Fury didn't know who Captain Carter was. I'm wondering if she came into the alternate universe that she didn't exist in, but then how would Hawkeye know that she's Captain Carter? Like, Nick Fury, isn't this your job to know who all of the Avengers are? Get your shit together, man. Overall, after I watched the episode a few more times, it wasn't as bad and my eyes didn't bleed as much with the animation. But the story and the script just felt really rushed and I didn't really enjoy it. I liked the callbacks to the movie, but I think in the end I would just go watch the movie again. My rating of the first episode of What If with Captain Carter would probably be 1.5 out of 10, which I guess is a lot because it could be a 0. Thank you so much for listening. I know this was all just me talking, but I do really want to get the conversation going. So let me know what you thought of the show in the comments or catch me on Twitter and let's have a casual conversation. Please don't yell at me for not reading the comics, okay? Not everyone has all that free time. Okay?